face.
What? Hey, we're back.
Hey, oh, we're back?
Yeah, we're back.
Yo, what up, you fucking dude?
Yeah, and the Beaners, dude, and Beaners.
Oh, Beaners are here.
Yeah, and we got some Pittsburgh Beaners with us now.
Yo, Pittsburgh, that was so great. Your city was great. All the things, we saw it all. The Steelers,
Yeah.
Roethlisberger, Heinz Ward. We saw everybody.
Yeah, we saw everything in Pittsburgh.
Yep. Palomalu.
Yep, he was there.
So, thank you for listening now, Pittsburgh. No, you didn't kill us.
Hey, maybe, actually, there's still time.
Hassan, you're alive.
Yes. Before we get to this week's movie, I watched last week's movie.
Oh,
I watched Collateral.
that was your job.
I did it.
How'd you do it? How'd it go? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. No one ever claps for me.
How'd it go?
I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. Jamie Foxx was incredible.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
Yeah, he was like by far the best one. He was great. Ruffalo was great too. They were all great.
Yeah, they're all good.
They're all but like Jamie Foxx like stood out. It was just I don't know. He was just so good. I've never seen him be like lame before.
Yeah.
Like
He can, yeah, you've never seen Ali either, huh?
no.
Yeah, man, the dude's got range.
Yeah, he was like lame. Yeah, you're right. He put on weight for this. You could tell. He was
Yeah, not like crazy. He wasn't like fat or anything. He was
just like a regular out of shape
yeah,
guy.
yeah. He's just a little heavier than, because he wasn't even out of shape. You could tell it's like, if he took his shirt off, he probably wasn't like out of shape, but he's probably the most out of shape he's ever been in.
Right.
He's not in Django shape.
No,
That's
no,
for damn sure.
He's not really. He doesn't look like he's in shape at all. At least in the movie.
Well, like the t-shirt, but you can cover it up. But like, there's scenes where he's running and stuff. You're like, he's in shape. He didn't gain like 100 pounds or some
Who's
shit.
better at movie running than Tom Cruise?
Oh, nobody, dude.
Yeah, right.
That's Michael Costa's bit. That's why it's so good. But yeah, nobody's better than Tom Cruise at
Dude,
running.
just like the form. It's just high knees, and then like this is like straight up and down.
Yeah, dude,
That
he's
shit
good
is
at it.
great.
He knows how to look like he's running really fast on
Yes.
camera.
Yeah.
Wonder how fast he's actually running. I'd love to see him run live. I'd love to be on set and be like, oh, he's not that fast. Or like, oh, that nigga's fast as shit.
Yeah, he's probably a little faster than you expect, just because of the form. The form makes me think he's a little.
I don't know. He's also extremely small.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
does not look small on TV.
No, how do they do that?
He is a small man.
Yeah, and they really sort of make it work for
They
him.
make it look like he's the same size as Jamie Foxx is gigantic compared to fucking Tom Cruise.
right.
And
That's
in
how
this
I would
movie,
think.
you would think Tom Cruise was twice his size.
We get the energy of twice his size.
The big dick energy on Tom Cruise in
Yeah.
this movie is terrifying.
Yeah. This is my controversial. This is going to be a controversial statement. I don't think it needed to be Tom Cruise.
Who could it have been?
I don't know. There's just something, I don't know. It just felt a little off to me.
Who should it have been? Because I loved it.
I mean, not that it was bad.
I loved it in 2003.
Right. Maybe someone older?
Who?
Who
You got to give me somebody so I can at least try to see what you're talking about, because right now I don't see it.
would have been older in 2003? I'm trying to... He doesn't have hair, but someone like Bruce Willis's age. Feel what I mean? Just like a little bit
You
older?
think it should have been Bruce Willis?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he's as good an actor as Tom Cruise.
No, that's what I said, but someone in that age range.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to... Willis is probably not as good of an actor as Cruise, but... something along there. I don't know. There's something about me that was like, it just seems off. It just seems off. This is... to me, it was like, this is Tom Cruise, the hero. I couldn't get over that. I couldn't get over that, but it was in the back of my mind.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You didn't let yourself go?
Not in this one. Not all the way.
Yeah?
There's something about him in that role.
Why do you want him to be a good guy all the time?
I don't want him to be a good guy. Not that I want him to be a good guy. It's just like that. For whatever reason, I just couldn't fully get myself into this. Not that I was trying to hold myself back, but I just couldn't.
So you didn't usually like it or not?
No, I liked it.
Yeah?
No, I didn't like it. I was just like, I think it didn't have to be. It could have been someone different.
I wonder who, because I don't think that at all. Tom Cruise, it was great. He's so stoic. That's exactly what that character needed to be. An assassin.
He was an assassin. He fucking murdered people.
Yeah, he's John Wick in this movie, dude. He is John Wick in this movie.
Except he gets bested. He does get bested.
Oh yeah, John Wick doesn't get bested.
No. He gets bested. He gets bested by a sidestep too.
Yeah.
Something.
The lights just went out.
Yeah.
Simple, very simple. I like this movie because it was simple, bro. The lights went out.
Also, you didn't mention that who's the bad guy, the Mexican guy? What's his name again? Felix?
Felix.
Yeah, you didn't mention that was a Javier Bardem.
That's not Javier Bardem.
That's Javier Bardem.
Is that Javier Bardem?
That's Javier Bardem.
He looks really different in it. He's got the short haircut.
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't have recognized Mark Ruffalo if you didn't say it was Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, they both look different.
But Mark Ruffalo looks way different.
Yeah, wait. Well, I say he looks different.
Yeah.
Because I knew that was him.
Right.
But I didn't even recognize Javier Bardem. He looks so different in it.
Yeah, it's so much younger too.
Like crazy young.
Well,
Because his chin is different and his hair's cut off. So I'm like, wow, I've never seen him look like that.
I think most people's in their mind of what Javier Bardem is starts from No Country for Old Men on.
Yeah.
That's the look.
So it's like to see, I don't even know what younger than No Country for Old Men looks like. Javier Bardem.
Right.
You're right. Very good point.
Yeah.
Because that's where he
different hairstyles, short haircut. Yeah.
Well, in No Country for Old Men, he has a fucking mop on his head.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. There was some good ass actors in this, nigga.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know Javier Bardem was in that movie.
Yo.
I've seen it a bunch of times.
Bro, Ruffalo is so good that you told me Ruffalo was going to be in this movie. And after Ruffalo showed up, I was like, when's Ruffalo showing up to this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that guy was Ruffalo.
Your homeboy can act. The Hulk can act too, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. They got some Avengers that can act their ass off.
It did cross my mind at one point in this movie. I was like, wow, he's nothing like the Hulk in this movie.
No, he's not the Hulk in this.
He's not the Hulk at all.
You ever seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
No.
He's not the Hulk in that either.
No, he's not a Hulk in most of his movies.
No, bro, just the Hulk apparently.
Yeah.
Just the Hulk
Avengers.
is when he is the Hulk.
He's not even. There hasn't even been a Hulk.
Yeah.
Which I think was a good call. But
No, there's been a Hulk.
No,
just
no,
not with him. No, he
with
hasn't got his own Hulk.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah, because you know what's crazy? You know the Ed Norton Hulk. You seen that?
No, I've seen none of the Hulks.
Okay, the Ed Norton Hulk is in this timeline.
Oh, it's just they just switch the actors.
Yeah, they switched the actors, which is crazy. I forgot that.
Did Terrence Howard in him?
Yeah. But it's crazy that because when you watch that Hulk too, it fits the whole Infinity.
Oh, it fits the whole Infinity
It's a part
War?
of it.
Oh wow.
It's completely a part of it. So I was like, damn, I completely forgot about that.
Wow.
They just Ed Norton just was like, nigga, I'm not doing all this. I'm an actor. Ed Norton said, hey man, I'm not. No.
Do you think? This is an interesting question. Do you think it was that, or
Yes.
is Ed Norton hard? Because Ed Norton is famously hard to work with.
Well, I think also, I mean, he's so famous. He definitely could. If he wanted it, there's no way. Because the drop off from Ed Norton to Mark Ruffalo at that time, you got to remember who the fuck was Mark Ruffalo compared to Ed Norton.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mark Ruffalo became Mark Ruffalo after all this shit. Ed Norton was already Ed Norton, but that nigga was American History X. Can't tell that nigga shit, bro. He murdered that movie. Literally, he murdered niggas in that movie. He literally murdered niggas.
What's he up to?
Ed Norton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does like real acting shit, bro. He does like independent roles and stuff.
Okay. He hasn't been in like a. What was the last?
I don't think he has
big
to do
movie?
big blockbuster.
I don't think he has to.
I think he's like, man.
He's like Bill Murray. Where
Yeah,
he
he's
doesn't
like,
have
bro,
to do the
I'm
big
good.
movies anymore.
Yep. Yeah, I know he's like like he'll do like comedies too.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, last big movie he was in was the Oscar movie. He had a big role in The Birdcage, and that won all the Oscars, and he was nominated.
The Birdcage?
You know the one with Michael Keaton? I didn't like it. It was when he won-
Birdman?
Birdman. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You know what, I'm sorry.
Well, dude,
I
The
said
Birdcage
is a different movie.
You
Great
said
movie.
You said The Birdcage, like, yeah, that's not like an Oscar. That sounds like an Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, it's different.
The
yeah,
Birdcage?
It's like the Bird Box
Yeah,
or a little bit of something else.
Yeah. The Birdcage, and it's just some
know what's crazy? The
British
Birdcage is
actors.
a movie, nigga.
Probably.
No, it is.
Oh yeah. Have you seen? Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny. That's really funny.
We'll do it later. But Collateral.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? We're talking about fucking Avengers and shit. Ruffalo. I was like, what the fuck, nigga?
Yeah.
Yo, Mark Ruffalo is the shit. Tom Cruise is dope, man. I don't know. Tom Cruise is dope.
I mean, he's not dope, but
That nigga can act.
That was my controversial take on this movie. I think most people would disagree with me on this.
Yeah, because he's scary in it. His face is so stoic. The jazz scene is my favorite scene. What was your favorite scene in it?
Cartagena.
Huh?
Yeah, but did you tell those to the people in Cartagena? And
Yeah. And then the black guy's like,
yeah,
oh fuck, this nigga's about to kill me.
the coyote scene, man. I don't. For the life of me.
Because that's not that was.
Yeah, but but it's like, damn, dude. I watched that scene like, damn, that's really deep, and I don't know why, but it's deep.
Because it was real. Do you think you would have cared if I never told you that it was really happened? Would you even noticed it, or would you have been like, what was that about?
I would have been like, I think I would have had the same reaction of like, that was deep, but that was deep for
You
something.
think you would still have the exact same if I didn't tell you that was
No,
because that is what makes it way a little more interesting.
No. That makes the scene more interesting.
Yeah.
But like, this is one of those movies where they don't put a scene in there unless they feel like it's necessary for the movie, right? And there's nothing as crazy as there's nothing.
There's not a lot of fat on this movie.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours, but it's not a lot of fat.
No, there's not. And there's nothing as weird as the coyote scene in it. You know what I mean? It's like it is out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and it's like they both react to it. I thought it was just interesting.
It was great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also just the acting.
Sustained
This is really
character.
good. This is a really good action movie, bro. It's an interesting action movie.
Would you call this an action movie?
Yeah. The fight scenes are dope. There's enough action. There's enough action in it that constantly keeps happening that I'm like, this is an action movie.
Okay.
He kills people a bunch, man.
That doesn't mean not necessarily make it an action
Like,
movie.
but the way he kills everybody is like the first nigga falls out of a window.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I would. Yeah, because someone asked me, how would you describe this? Someone asked me today, and I was like, maybe like a thriller?
Definitely a thriller. It's an action thriller.
Yeah.
It's an action thriller, like for sure, 100% action thriller. But it's like every death had some shit going on, nigga.
That's
There's
true.
a chase scene,
There is a chase scene. It has everything going on. There's like a car accident.
bro, and then the club scene is like entirely action. The whole club sequence.
Yeah.
And then he kills Mark Ruffalo. How great is that when he kills Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
That's
His,
like great, bro.
What's it called? The Asian guys' protectors are terrible.
Yeah, bro. What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, just kill people. What are you doing? They're just pointing with their guns? Shoot.
Yeah.
It's only one guy. It's only one guy.
I would recommend this movie to people though. It's one
Yes.
of those movies that's like it's not like it's like the greatest movie of all time or some shit.
No,
but it's
no.
like definitely watch it if you see it on. But
fun.
where will you see it?
Yeah.
Who is ever gonna stop? Who's ever gonna watch?
Because you know what I
Collateral,
mean? And
bro?
yeah, in like the when people like recommend me a movie, how many movies? Think of how many movies you'd have to suggest that they've been like, oh, I've seen that before you get to
Before
Collateral.
you get to Collateral, they're like, all right.
Yeah, I mean it's 90 episodes in before we got to it here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's Collateral.
That's Collateral. That's it. What up?
Beaners, this is your intermission right now.
Before we get into the episode you are here for, really quick, thank you for listening. We
Yes,
love you.
We do. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Rate and review this podcast on iTunes.
Please rate and review. That stuff matters. We could use the help, and we would appreciate it.
Yeah, tell your friends about the podcast. We know you love it.
Tell your friends about the podcast. We know you love it. You keep going back and listening to old episodes. That's
Yeah.
how we know you love it. We appreciate that.
And follow us on Instagram at Spoil the Beans, and then you can find our individual Instagrams. We're linked on everything. Follow
Derek
us from there.
Poston, Hassan Ahmad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to Greg Scamato for making our theme music. If you want some more samples from him or maybe help from him, check out gregcanhelp.com.
Yep.
Yeah. And now back to your future presentation.
And we back. And we back.
We did it,
Like
guys.
Chance the motherfucking rapper. We're
We
back again.
Fucking did it.
Hey, Hassan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to let them know we're going to do stand-up comedy?
No,
Sorry, guys.
we don't need you to come.
I would like you to come. I'd like you to. All right, thank
Fine.
you. Can we invite them?
Yes.
Pittsburgh Beaners, what's up? We love you guys. Thanks for coming. But next, we have Philadelphia. Philadelphia, we're coming to you with Mr. Big Brown himself. That is October 17th through the 19th at the Philly Helium, which I've heard is a great club. Cannot
Right.
wait to be there. And then in November 14th through the 16th, we will be in Dallas at the Improv
Get on out.
with Big Brown. And then after that, literally the week right after that, we will be November 21st through 23rd.
Salt Lake City, Wise Guys.
Heard nothing but amazing things about that club as well.
Also, November 8th and 9th, I will be in Omaha with Bobby Lee.
Omaha.
Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee. Oh, he funny.
Oh.
Also, April 15th through May 2nd, me and Hassan will be international with your boy Big Brown on the 50 Shades of Brown
50
tour.
Shades of Brown.
Literally starting April 15th in Cork, Ireland, and ending May 2nd in Stockholm. So we'll literally check his dates. We'll be everywhere, all through the international that whole month. So please come out and see us. Come and say what's up, Beaners. Because
Hey,
we know you're listening and we love you
Beaners.
guys. International Beaners, we can't wait to meet you guys.
Hey.
Hassan,
And
what's up?
shout out to Dilmar, a guy who lives in our apartment complex who likes our stuff. So
Shout out, bro.
shout out Dilmar, and if any of you guys' fucking family members live in our apartment complex, let us know and we'll give you a shout out.
It's a very specific shout out rule, but we have it.
We'll give it to you. So let us know. We won't give you one if you actually live in the apartment complex yourself.
No, you can go fuck yourself.
No, just family.
Yep. Hassan,
Yes.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
You doing good?
Yeah, a little high.
A little high. We got a flight in a couple hours.
Yeah, so I'm in like the tired, but not really.
But you ready to watch a movie?
Yes.
Hassan, before we start the movie that you haven't seen, that's
Right.
why you guys are here. Can you tell me what you think
Okay.
happens in the classic picture, the classic motion film, the classic, all the words that I'm not saying correctly. Big.
Huh. I guess it's time.
It's time.
It's time for Big. It's been a good. We have a fair share of Tom Hanks movies on our list so far that we've done.
What we got?
Philadelphia and Castaway.
Yep, and this is number 3.
Number 3. That's good.
God, 3 classics too.
Yeah.
All big, gigantic movies.
Just real quick before I get into this, was Collateral a first Tom Cruise movie?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Anyways, just popped in my head. There.
What
Oh, yeah.
happens in
In
big
Big.
in your brain?
Okay. So there's this kid, and maybe he gets grounded by his parents.
Goddamn parents!
Yeah, 'cause
They just don't understand.
They really don't. And then he was like, I can't wait to be out of here, and I can't wait to leave the house when I'm 18 because I'm white, and then never talk to you guys again because I'm white, and then he sneaks out of the house and goes to like maybe this is like fair or whatever the fuck.
Ooh.
And there's that machine, right? That Zoltar machine
Oh,
or whatever.
man.
And then he was like, man, he's in a fit of anger. I wish I was an adult. I wish I was big. Nah.
Yeah.
And then magic
Magic.
happens.
Magic.
Magic. Zoltar's eyes probably glow.
Oh, that son of a
Probably
bitch.
always happens. It always happens when inanimate objects do magic. They glow.
Ah,
They don't
magic.
do anything else.
Magic.
Yeah, magic happens, and then he becomes big.
Whoa!
Yeah, and then he navigates adult life, and at first it's great because he can do do whatever he wants.
He can do the big stuff. He can
do
get
the big stuff,
a pizza. He can go.
Yeah,
He
to
can
get
go
a
out.
Slurpee.
A Slurpee. He can get
Yeah.
candy and ice cream at all times.
I
Mainly
need that.
food. It's
I
mainly
need that.
food.
And then I don't know. Then
what?
he realizes, he can't go home because he's huge. He's an adult.
Yeah,
And
there's
then he has
that.
to okay. Then he has to get a job and yada yada yada, do all that. And there's probably his parents are probably looking for him too.
Yeah, there's the whole real
Oh,
dark
I didn't
element
even-
on the other
I
side of
didn't
this
even
movie.
Think about that. And then
So he's nice finding out that being an adult's not that fun.
it's not that it's hard.
Oh.
It's hard being adult.
That sucks.
It's hard. And then maybe he meets an adult friend, and then what's it called? And then maybe there's a girl who's interested in him because of his boyish charm because he's actually a boy.
Uh-huh.
And then he's able to convince her and tell her no, I'm a real boy. And then she
Like
helps.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, I'm an actual boy. And then him and her and Tom Hanks and the other friend he meets go try to find the machine to turn him back into a kid.
Did they find it?
Yes.
And what happened? How does it end?
He ends up with his family.
Oh, he ends up okay. So his family's like, oh my god, our son's
Oh, we
not
found
dead.
him. Oh my God. Yeah. They,
Jeez,
they're
my heart
freaking out the
has
whole
been in my balls for
Yeah.
however long this
time.
is.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's your big, huh?
That's my big.
Not bad.
Big. Yeah.
Not bad. Yours is a little right down the middle.
Yeah.
Right down the middle.
Yeah, this was a right down. This
Yours
is not a right
more
down the middle movie.
Well, this movie is like one of the greatest movies of all time.
So yes.
Must be
yeah.
something. I would because I put this up there with the Ferris Bueller level of classic.
Okay. I get the vibe.
Also, the world does. Not even just me.
Yeah, I would
this
say
is-
so.
Yeah. Starts what?
Okay, never mind.
Go ahead.
No. I was about
question?
to just agree with you more. So
Yeah, I mean, as far as classic and most memorable scenes that are iconic,
The
this movie
piano
is.
scene I've
I mean,
seen.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't even know how you wouldn't.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like
Right.
this is
And
this.
yet this podcast exists. So,
fucking exists.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be surprising. What should be surprising is I have seen the piano scene. That should be like,
No, you know what's great?
whoa.
Because if you hadn't seen, having not seen the whole movie, I'm like, okay. Having not seen that scene at all, I'd be like, wow, you were just closing your eyes a lot of times. Like it comes up so much. We start. Also, we immediately start. Like hit play, movie starts. Love it.
Oh,
Love when movies do that.
Ooh, is this 90s? No, it's the 80s.
80s.
80s. So maybe
They,
they haven't
hadn't- they,
figured it out
they,
yet.
they didn't learn yet. They're like, yo, we can add like 20 more minutes to these movies.
Yeah, just by showing Tom Hanks reading a book.
For 20 minutes.
Or not-
and
it
then
wouldn't
shot
be
to the
Tom
city,
Hanks.
shot to the city, shot to the city, shot to the city.
Yeah, it'd be the kid. who
People
looked like
working,
the
people
kid.
working, people working. We get it.
Yeah.
People work in cities. I don't know why they didn't think we got that in the 90s.
Because maybe they didn't know.
We were like,
Thought
yo,
maybe everyone was this magic child.
start with the boy.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing video games on a computer. Old school. This is 80s. So it's like the old school computer game, but it's like one of those storyline kind of games, like
Okay.
Zelda or some shit. I
Oh,
never liked
type
those
shit?
games. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then his name's Josh, and his parents are calling out, Josh, get on down here, Josh, come on. they're complaining, and then like sweet 80s music starts like dum 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 dum. Big comes across the screen.
Okay.
And his parents, they're making him do chores. He's like, oh God, he's hating it, and his credits are rolling. And he's on his way to school, and he's riding his bike, and he's pretending and then he gets to school, and he's pretending he's a pitcher for the Yankees at recess.
Okay, I love it.
You know what I mean?
Love it.
And he's like, bottom of the ninth, Josh, Baskins at the mound, he's had a great game, and he's pitching to this redhead kid. Who's up at bat? And they're clearly best friends.
Okay.
All right. And then they're playing baseball, and then after school they go to a gas station and they get like cards and snacks, right? And they're going through like all sports cards and stuff, and then they're talking about a teacher and looking down her breast. Credits are still rolling, looking down her skirt, and blah blah blah. And they saw her flowers or whatever, and then they see a hot girl walk up, right, with all her friends, and it's Cynthia, and they're like, oh shit. And then one of the kids, the Billy kid, goes, man. How did a geek like Freddie Benson land a sister like that? I laughed out loud, nigga.
Nice.
Great line.
Nice.
How did he land a sister?
Like that. Yeah, weird, huh?
So she's
If a white kid said that to me, I'd be like, "Are you?"
I would laugh.
I would laugh and I'd be like, "Are you racist?" I'd be like, that'd be such a weird thing. Can you imagine hearing your friend say that? I'd be like, what?
Bro, I would definitely my first reaction would be like gut laughter because it's like, bro, that was so wrong.
Yeah,
and right. Also.
Right. Can I guess runtime?
What?
Hour 45.
Hour 44, really close.
Ooh, I
Really
mean, that's
close.
hour 45.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So, the hot girl says hi to Josh,
Okay.
and then he's like, hi, and then they walk into the store, and then they freak out. Oh, that's unbelievable!
Oh, man.
Oh my God, she likes you.
Oh man, dude. I remember these are like middle school age kids, elementary school
Yes,
age kids.
13.
Yeah. 13 middle school age kids. Yeah, man. I remember feeling.
Remember 13 going on 30?
Oh, I mean, I never saw it, but I remember the movie, kind of how it's just a superhero. Yeah. Okay.
He's 13. I wonder where they got 13 going on 30 from.
Oh, is that the first female remake of a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, huh. But it was
I didn't realize it today till I was watching it, and I found out the ages of this, and I was like,
Oh, it's the same.
oh, damn. Y'all just literally were like, hey, what age did he go to? That to that? All right, we'll call it that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow.
Interesting. I didn't know that either, but keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I remember because of the excitement of the hot girl talking to you. I remember in middle school when I got Bridget Pujols to sign my yearbook. All the guys were like, "Oh shit!" All of them was like, "Oh shit, you got Bridget Pujols to sign your yearbook?" Yeah, that's what.
That's
it brought me
pretty
back
big deal.
to.
That's Albert Pujols' daughter.
Yeah, it's really wish it was, but
That's a big deal in San Jose, baby.
Yeah. Shout out to Bridget Pujols.
Yeah, and Albert. Shout out to both. So they go home and they're pumped up, right? And then they're singing this song, shimmy shimmy cocoa puff, shimmy shimmy rah, shimmy shimmy cocoa puff, shimmy shimmy rah, Ahmed, and they're just singing, and then they walk and they get home and they're next door neighbors, which is even more cool. It's like, what's the best, greatest situation of all time?
Yes.
Literally next door neighbors. And they have walkie talkies, so at night they're talking to each other.
Oh, that's dope.
You know what I mean? And their mom's like, go to bed, boys. And, they go to bed. The next day, Josh and his family go to a big fair.
Oh, okay. You didn't get grounded.
All right. And there's all the rides and all the shit, and he sees a super cool roller coaster and he wants to go on it.
He's not tall enough to ride it.
All right, he wants to go on it.
Yeah.
All right. And his parents are nervous. They're like, I don't know about that one, Josh. That looks pretty scary. And he's like, come on, Moms, please. And then he sees the Cynthia girl and he's like, but I got to go alone. Right. And his parents are like, okay. They give him a little bit of money and then they say, meet us at the Ferris wheel. And he's like, okay. So he leaves. He skips the line and then he gets up right up to her. And she's like, hey, what's up, Josh? And he's like, hi. He's all nervous. And she's like, have you ridden this before? He's like, yeah. She's like, oh, dude, that's cool, blah, blah, blah.
Classic line.
And then they get up to the front, and then right then this other kid comes up. And she's like, oh, by the way, this is Derek. And it's a big kid. And she's like, Derek knows how to drive. And then he's like, he's like completely just wind out of the sails.
Nice.
Yeah, and then...
she's 13, you're 16. Come on.
Oh, dude, I get Derek. I get Derek.
What a crazy reach.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, because if you're 16, you can drive. You can get a 16-year-old.
Maybe.
Definitely.
Sometimes you just like them young.
Yeah, I mean it's
even when you're young.
This high schooler is dipping in that junior high pool. That is, I guess you.
That's what dudes do, though. That is exactly what high school dudes do. Also, yeah, because everyone in middle school, every girl in middle school always tried to fuck a guy that was way older. So it's like a weird thing. That never goes away for them. I don't know what's going on with girls. That's the whole thing. We like to fuck them young. We got our own problems, ladies. So everybody's dealing with their shit. So he tries to ride, and then the guy goes, hey, buddy, look at the sign. Too small. He's like, oh. And the guy's like, why don't you go ride the kiddie rides? And he laughs, and then he has to walk off.
What a dick.
He walks off, and she's like, bye, Josh. And he's like, oh, and he walks away. So now he's walking around all sad, and he's fucking pretty much kicking the can, just like, oh. Mm-hmm. And then he looks up, and he sees a Zoltar machine. Middle of nowhere, though. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like out on its own, not with everything else. He's like, what? And he walks over to it, and he puts 25 cents in, and it does nothing. He's like, what the fuck? And he starts hitting on it. Man, what the fuck? Come on. He keeps hitting it, and then it finally cuts on. And these red eyes pop on, and then it's like mouth opens, and it looks like the devil, and it's like,
oh, this is unsettling. This is very.
And it keeps doing that, right?
Didn't ACC have a Zoltar machine?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
No, you see the Zoltar machine everywhere.
Yeah.
And so he says Zoltar goes, make the things that reads across the screen, says make your wish, and then he goes, I wish I were big.
That's
and
how it
lights
takes.
up, and a card comes out, and he reads it and it says your wish is granted, and he looks down, and it's not plugged in, and he's like, and he runs away, because obviously,
yes,
that would fuck me up too.
Yes. Oh my God.
And then the wind starts blowing crazy that night, right? And he's with his little baby brother and his little baby sister in his room, but he's knocked out. And then his mom comes in and she grabs the baby because the baby sister's crying. She's like, don't wake your brother. And she takes him out the room, and you see Josh in bed, and he rolls over, right? Camera fades out. Next morning, Josh, wake up, Josh. It's 7:30. Josh, you're going to be late. Get up. You don't see anything, but you hear like a man's yawn. Then a huge white pair of legs. Like, kind of, you see those, right? And they jump down. Poof, and then the music, that same kind of music kicks in.
How funny would it be if he met him a black man?
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
He's the biggest black man in the 80s.
It's just whatever.
And then
the
it turns into like a real serious movie about like basketball.
Yeah. You see the dollar signs light up in her mom's eyes.
And it never goes back to really the childhood thing.
Yeah.
Like, they never go back. It's really a story about how Magic Johnson becomes the greatest player of all time.
Yeah. Oh man.
It keeps that boyish smile. So, he goes to the bathroom. He closes the bathroom mirror. We see our boy. We see Tom. We see Thomas, one of the greatest actors of all time, arguably the greatest. If somebody said he's the greatest, if somebody were to say Tom Hanks is the greatest actor of all time,
That's a good fair argument.
you gotta start from like, okay,
All right.
okay,
Let's talk
I
about
respect
this.
you.
Right.
Let's talk about, or you're right, or that's the other answer is correct. But the answer cannot be
Probably
no.
Yeah. Probably one of the most likable people in all of Hollywood.
Likable, I mean range. I mean, just fucking from comedy to romance,
technical
to
skill,
technical to war to fuck. I mean, just everything. Dude can unreal.
He was a toy.
AIDS.
AIDS.
I mean, enough said. So he can't believe it. He's freaking out, right? And he's like, he's like, oh shit, I'm Tom Hanks. You know, because I mean, imagine waking up and you're fucking Tom Hanks.
Like, oh, this is the best situation.
And I'm a young Tom Hanks. I got so much farther to go.
Yeah. Oh my God. If you showed like a 13-year-old me, like would you rather be this and a picture of me or a picture of Tom Hanks? I'd be like, yeah, let's go with Tom Hanks.
Big Tom Hanks too. He is young, thin, and handsome.
Yeah. Oh man.
So he's scared. And he's
Is this late 80s or early 80s?
88. Late 80s.
Okay.
He's looking at his
The
chest hair.
ladies.
You know he got nominated for an Oscar for this.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, he's the GOAT, dude. He might be the GOAT. So he's looking at his chest hair and he's, touching his huge dick now. He's like, whoa, I got a huge cock. I mean, they put this in the movie.
I don't think he says that at all.
Why don't you watch the movie? Why don't you wait till you see the movie? How about that?
You know what? I haven't seen it. So
You
I
haven't
don't know.
seen it, so what do you
Don't
really know?
But if
Besides what I'm telling you.
if I had to guess,
What?
at no point did Tom Hanks go, whoa, my cock is huge.
Because all of a sudden it's like, damn, he wasn't a good actor on that line. He kind of just said that.
Looks straight at the camera. I got a big ass dick.
Get saved by the bells. So his mom's like, hey, I put your clean clothes out, okay? And he's like, okay. And she's like, Josh, you have a cold? And he's like, no, I'm fine, right? And then the music kicks in a little hard, like 80s stuff. And then he's running to his room, and like he grabs the card and he reads it out loud, and he's like, "Your wish is granted." He's like, "Oh shit!" And then he tries to put on his pants, and he can only put like one leg in, pretty much, and he falls down. And his mom's like, "You okay up there?" And he runs to the other room and he grabs like sweats and a hoodie from his dad's closet, right?
Right.
It's like a blue Giants hoodie, some blue sweats, and then the mom says, like, "Hey, bring down your baby sister." He's like. And then he runs downstairs and he just slides the baby kind of down the kitchen. The baby's like, whoa, like that. And then he's like, bye, Mom. And then she's like, oh, you're not even going to eat breakfast. And then he runs out, right? This nigga's such an amazing actor. I mean, just you believe it. You do it because it's like, this movie's ridiculous. But I get why it was an Oscar-winning movie, like nominated movie, and like it was such a classic. Because like, damn, bro, he makes you believe this fucking ridiculous thing is happening. He really, because they don't do it like it's a comedy, but it's not, because you're like, oh man, what's this kid going to do now?
Right.
Because it's like I'm sucked into this guy.
Yeah. Did you in high school? Did you ever have to read the Metamorphosis?
No.
Oh, it's about a guy who turns into a giant bug. That's what it reminds me of. It's way more sad than this, though.
Yeah. You know what? You said a giant bug, and I was like, nigga, that doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, this is
that sounds like a horrible experience.
This seems like this is a fun movie.
Oh, it's the most fun movie. It's Ferris Bueller. It's Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, and the Metamorphosis is just like, oh, this is what modern society.
You know
does.
how Matthew Broderick brings you in to that world, and you're like, I believe this.
Right.
Same thing. And immediately too, like just how like the movie starts, and you're like, okay, I'm in this
where,
world.
Where are we going from here?
Yep.
All
same thing.
All right. What does he do? All right. So this is more like a day in a life type deal.
Oh yeah. So he gets to the fair spot, and everything's gone. It's already moved on to the next town, right? And he rides around. He's confused. And he's fucking sad. He runs home, and he goes in, and his mom's like, please don't. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. And he runs back outside, and then he wipes his feet off. And he runs back in. Yo, that's so subtly really funny. No words. That's a crazy funny thing to do.
Yeah.
Also, clearly, this guy's not going to hurt you later.
No, yeah.
Actually,
this guy's going to really hurt you.
Because he had to go wipe his feet off.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I got to do the thing that makes the whole ritual start.
It makes me come, or else I'm not going to come.
Yeah, I got to do it. Well, I can't murder you if I don't wipe my feet first. How silly would that be if I just murdered you while tracking dirt?
You without tracking dirt over you. I'm not a monster.
Yeah, I'm not a monster. I just want to kill you to make my dick hard.
So his mom's like, what do you want? What do you want? And he starts trying to explain. Mom, it's me. It's Josh. She's screaming. She's running around. He's like, it's me. It's your son. I'm your Josh. I have a birthmark on my left butt cheek. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she's like, what'd you do with my son? Where's my son? And she grabs a knife. She tries to attack him. He's like, ah! And he runs out the house. Right? So he goes to school. He runs to school.
Oh, man. Just out of the frying pan into the fire.
I get it, though. In his head, he's like, dude, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do.
I gotta go to school. Look at my ass. It's like a, ooh.
So his friend Billy,
right,
redhead kid, he's at gym class, right, and he's wide open under the basket for a layup, right, and they throw it down to him, and then he misses horribly like 3 times, and then all the kids get mad at him, and then the game ends, and then they all like throw dodgeballs at him, and the coach is like, God damn it, Billy, you suck, put all the balls away, and he's like, ugh. So he goes and he's collecting all the balls, and he's putting them away in this like locker, and then the door closes, and you see it's Josh, Tom Hanks. He creeps up and he goes, Billy, it's me. And Billy drops all the balls looking at him. He goes, it's me, Josh. And Billy goes, coach. And he's like, quiet. And he tries to get away from him. He's like, stop. He's like, come on, coach. He's like, look, get out of here, rape. Like, he's like, a dog. He's like, that. Coach. And he's like, I'm your best friend. He's like, I'm your best friend. He's like, I'll prove it. And Billy just keeps screaming. He's like, I know what it'll look like me, man. I'm so scared. Please help me. Please, I'm your best friend. And then, like, Billy just keeps screaming. And he goes, oh, I know. And he goes, the space goes down, baby, down the roller coaster. Sweet, baby, sweet, the roller coaster. Shimmy, Cocoa Puff. Shimmy, ride. Shimmy, Cocoa Puff. Shimmy, ride. And then the Billy kid's looking at him. He's like, I made a Triscuit, a biscuit. She had a biscuit, a Triscuit. Ice cream, soda, Papa Janella on the top. Ooh, Sharita, walking down the street 10 times a week. I said it. I stole your mama's credit. I'm cool. I'm hot. And then the Billy kid's like doing it with him. He's like, and I suck you in the stomach 3 more times. And then Billy's like, and they're staring at each other.
And then they fuck.
Close. Yeah. Very close. He goes,
what? Very close.
Yo, hold on. You're right there.
You know what?
He says, Josh? And he nods. He goes, "You look terrible."
Fair.
And Josh goes, "I know." And then they fuck.
Oh, okay.
You're a little ahead of it. So come back to the police are obviously at Josh's house.
Right.
Because,
Okay,
missing child.
I did get that part right. I was like, oh yeah.
And you see Billy sneaking out with a bag of clothes, and he brings them to Josh, and he gives him a bunch of money. And he goes, "Where'd you get this?" And he goes, "My dad's top drawer." He goes, "What?" He goes, "It's an emergency fund." And he's like, "Jesus, Billy, this is so much." He goes, "Well, what do you call this?" Which is a good point. I get Billy's side of it. It's like, well, if this isn't an emergency, I don't know what we're calling emergencies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, this is a top-notch emergency.
So they go into New York City, and Josh is like, "I'm not supposed to go into New York City without my parents." He's like, "Well, we gotta go, Josh." And so they go, and it's beautiful shots of New York in the '80s, and then they're like clearly in a bad neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're clearly in the worst neighborhood. And then, he's like, "This looks okay, Josh." And he's like, "No, it doesn't. It's this horrible, shitty ass hotel, and it looks like it's called St. James Hotel, and the lights are out." He's like, "It's religious." He's like, "Ah." So they go inside and they get a room. It's absolutely disgusting. He's like, "Man, I don't want to stay here by myself. Please don't make me stay here by myself." And he's like, "I have to be home by 10, Josh." He's like, "But I'll cut school tomorrow and we'll find the Zoltar machine. I promise. It's only one night." And he's like, "Oh." And so he leaves. And as he goes to leave, he goes, "Hey, you're probably not going to want to sleep." And he's like, "What?" And then he leaves. He's like, oh. And then outside you just hear people arguing, right? And then he locks the door. And he's setting his room up, and he's kind of looking around. And then as he's doing that, he hears gunshots outside. Pop, 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 pop. And then people start screaming, and he slams the window. And then he hears a phone ring, like right outside his door. And then a Mexican guy answers and like starts speaking Spanish, but just yelling. Like just, just going off.
Yeah.
And then he fucking like goes and he locks the other part of the door. And he sits so scared, and then he just starts crying. And I mean, Tom Hanks starts fucking crying.
Oh man, I feel bad for him.
Oh yeah. Oh, you do. You feel horrible. You like the movie goes from fun to like immediately. It's like, oh, this probably was the scene that got him the Oscar. If I had to guess, probably was the scene that got him the Oscar.
Oh, okay, it's like that, huh?
just because I mean, he takes you from this fun, lighthearted thing that happened to now you're like, oh fuck, this is like, what's happening now?
He's got nowhere to go.
Yeah. What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
And then
I can't imagine like just being an adult, being like this age without like.
But you're an adult body.
Yeah, but like having not been the other ages before this.
God, dude.
You know how fucking scary that would be?
13 to 30?
Oh my god, I can barely
handle.
handle.
Can you imagine
27.
like being 13 going on 30? So
let's get the writer from What Women Want on this.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah.
So that lady only writes superhero movies.
Yeah.
So he pushes the desk like in front of the door because he's so scared, and then he curls up on the bed and he's just crying, calling for his mom. Right. So the next day they're checking all around the city for the Zoltar machine. They can't find it. Can't find it anywhere. And then they go to one of these like big informational buildings like to search for it.
Right.
And they finally get up to the line. They talk to a lady and they fill out all the paperwork for it. And the lady says it's going to take 6 weeks to process this, and it might even take longer than that. And they're just like,
man, pre-Google
fuck.
must have sucked.
Oh, dude, it's like this is what they had to do.
Yeah.
And it's 6 weeks
before
they would get the information back.
Man.
So.
And the Zoltar machine will have moved by then.
Dude.
Yeah.
So they're sitting outside, and he's like, "I'm going to be 30 years old for the rest of my life." He's like, "Don't worry, man. We're going to figure it out." He's like, "So now what?" And he's like, "Don't worry. Every day I'll come hang out with you after school." And he's like, because I mean, imagine hearing that. It's like, what, dude? That's
silly.
It sucks. It's only for a couple of hours a day, and then what?
Yeah.
Oh,
so long.
What am I supposed to do? And he's like, "What do I do?" And he's like, "You got to get a job." So they go to a diner and they start to figure it out, right? And he's acting like a gross kid. And he's like playing with his food. And then they're going through the list and he's saying all these jobs. And then finally he goes, "Computer operator." And he goes, "Ooh, read that one." And then Billy's like, "Oh, come on, Josh. You're always with your computers. It's not going to work." He's like, "Come on, dude. Just read it." He's like, "Where is it at?" And he's like, "All right, you be a computer operator at McMillan Toys." And he goes, "Toys? Woogity, woogity, woogity." And they dap each other up, all right? So they fill out the application. Now they're at this job, and they're just writing dumb shit. Like for social security number, they're putting down their locker combinations. You know what I mean? They're just writing crazy shit. And he has a goofy ass blue suit on, and they call him in, and they're like, "Son, your son," because Billy gets up to go in with him. They're like, "Your son can wait, sir." And he's like, "Oh, my son?" And then they laugh, and he's like, "I'll be out in a minute, son." He's like, "Okay, Dad." And they're like dying laughing, which is interesting that the guy interviewing would have been like, "Well, that's weird."
Yeah, right. Oh, is he hanging out with this kid?
Yeah, because that was weird as fuck.
Huh.
That kid was about to come in here.
Yeah.
And I said, don't bring your son. And then they were like, what the fuck is that guy talking about?
Yeah. Huh. I think I should call the cops.
Yeah, because I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah.
Or I should hire this guy. Let's see what happens. So the guy.
Well, if movie magic says anything.
Well, Tom Hanks. I mean, how do you turn
Yeah.
down that smile? So the guy's talking to me, goes, and he's looking at his resume, just kind of reading over it. And he goes, you left a couple digits off your social security. And then Tom Hanks is like, 12. And the guy goes, like that's normal. Yeah, you knew which ones I was talking about. And then he keeps looking at it, and then he goes, "It says here you have 4 years of computer experience." And then he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Wow." He's like, "Where'd you go to school?" And he goes, George Washington." And he goes, "Wow, GW. My brother went there, got his doctorate. It's a great school." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Did you pledge?" He goes, "Every morning." And the guy's like, and then right then somebody busts in, of course, right?
Okay, yeah.
Right when it would be obvious, and like the next question would be, "Wait, what the fuck are you talking about?" You know how the next logical question when he said every morning would have been, "Wait, what do you?"
No, you know what? Every morning is just an awkward enough answer that you'd probably be like, all right, every morning. You know what I mean? Just like
I guess he because in your brain you're like, okay, so he's in a fraternity, and every morning he would.
Yeah. He just in my mind it's like, all right, he just said something wrong, and he's probably embarrassed by it, and
And we're
moving
just gonna
on.
move on. But he went to GW. That's a good school.
But he's thinking about the Pledge of Allegiance, I think.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also assuming this is George Washington High
That's funny.
or middle, not even high, middle. So
Did you do the Pledge of Allegiance in high school?
no, wait, yes, we had to do a prayer too.
Wow, you went to one of those.
Yeah, we had to do the Saint De La
molesty
Salle.
one, right? You went to one of those molesty schools. Didn't they shuffle around all the priests
Yeah,
at
they
your
did.
school? Yeah. Right. So you went to a molesty school. You went to one of them where they had little hands.
No,
Yeah,
just a lot of our priests would get injured or just get fed up with their contracts, and,
Yeah.
and trades would happen naturally.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Okay,
Very
okay.
natural trades going on. Sometimes you got to trade a priest for a priest. Sometimes one of your priests is too old, or one of your priests just has an attitude
touching
problem.
the students.
No,
Touching the students
maybe one of your priests
is just
doesn't like his
fucking
helmet.
Getting his dick sucked.
Yeah, Christian Rose High School is pretty cool. It's pretty good party school.
yeah.
As the priest would say. I always wonder why they said that. They always, all the priests would be like, "This is such a good party school." And I'm like,
What?
interesting. Damn, nobody fucked me though. I was black. I don't think black kids get molested like that.
No.
They get molested by family members all the time.
Well, everyone gets molested by family.
Yeah, that's like
members.
that's no race.
Yeah,
That's
you
just an
ain't-
uncle thing.
You ain't special.
Yeah,
But priests stay in their own gender. And
Yeah,
their
baby.
own race. I think
Which
it's
is white.
It's like a power thing.
Or brown. I'm sure there's lots of Brazilian priests and shit that are fucking all the kids.
Hopefully. But yeah, my main point when I brought this up was to be like, I remember distinctly doing the Pledge of Allegiance in middle school, but I don't remember if we did it in high school. Okay. So that's why I asked you to be like, if it's a high school thing as well.
Well, see, by the time you were in high school, you'd already did 9/11, right? So
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's true.
you probably weren't doing it anyway anymore.
Well, I was always when kids were doing the Pledge of Allegiance, I made sure I was spitting on the flag during that time. They'd be like, I pledge allegiance to the flag, and I just like.
You know how many fucking veterans listen to this podcast that you just disrespected?
I'm sorry. Hopefully they take a knee while we listen.
Thank you. Hey, all of our military beaters, please take a knee right now.
Take a knee in protest of me.
So we can get rid of them. I've been trying to get them off this podcast.
Do you
for a while.
remember the Pledge of Allegiance? Could you say it
Yeah.
right now? Okay, it's easy.
It's easy. Yeah, that's like a Tupac song. Way better though. Tupac sucks.
Well,
Yeah, I
definitely lasted longer than a Tupac song. That's for sure.
So I like Tupac. That's crazy to shit on Tupac like that. But he ain't got shit compared on Francis Scott Key.
Well, you know what? I will say this: Tupac has never written something like the Pledge of Allegiance. No.
Ambitions of a rider go hard as fuck.
Yeah, but there's no.
All eyes on me.
There's no middle school right now standing up with their hand over their hearts, just like fuck your bitch and the click you came with.
My ambitions as a rider.
Keep your head
Head up. Ooh, that should what they should
Things
say.
I gotta
Yo,
get
imagine starting every morning with that song.
Keep your
Head up.
Try things to
Get
get brighter.
brighter someday. Yeah. So a woman comes in and she's yelling about this other employee about how, hey, you got to fire her, Tom, blah, blah, blah. You got to fire this lady. And then he's like, why? And he's like, she's getting mad, but the only reason she's mad is just because the lady's getting married.
Okay.
That's the only reason. The lady's getting married. She's in love, blah, blah, blah. She hates it. She's got to go.
Take that.
And then Josh is just laughing, right? And then she makes the guy fire her, and the guy's just like, when can you start? And then Tom's like, soon. And that's a movie. You know when you get a job like that?
Yeah.
So they give him a bunch of paperwork, bro, and they sit him at a desk, and he gets to work right away. He immediately gets to work, right? And the guy next to him in the desk next to him goes, hey, buddy, it's John Lovitz.
Whoa.
Yep. John Lovitz kills in this, by the way. And he goes, hey, you trying to get us all fired? And Tom's like, what? He's like, pace yourself. Slow. You look like you're doing work, you know?
Smart.
And Tom's like, okay.
That's good advice for any job.
And then he tells him how this place sucks. He's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, we see that girl over there? He's like, yeah. He's like, say hi to her. She's yours. Have you begging for mercy. And Tom's like, I'll make sure to stay away from her.
That means very different things to a kid.
So we see the big boss walking over. And Mr. McMillan.
Is the big boss anyone?
Yeah, you'd recognize him, but I don't know the nigga's name.
Okay.
But he's a famous actor, like an older famous actor for sure. And then he's talking to the girl that was complaining earlier, the hot girl, and like a nerdy number two, like an asshole looking number two kind of guy. And Tom is running down the hallway, and then he runs into Mr. McMillan and knocks him over. And they're yelling at Tom like, wow, you got to look where you're going, you idiot. What are you doing, blah, blah, blah. And then Mr. McMillan goes up and like, it's fine. And he compliments his hustle. He's like, he was just hustling, you know, and then he's like, tells the nerdy guy, like, maybe you need to hustle more. And then he keeps walking, and the guy looks at Tom like a nerdy piece of shit would, you know? And then right then he goes back to his desk and he calls his mom. And it's quiet. And then he's like, hello, ma'am, how are you? And then she's like, who is this? And he's like, I just want you to know that Josh is all right, okay? He's okay. And then the mom starts crying. She's like, you have my boy. And then he's like, I swear to God. She goes, you touch him, I will spend the rest of my life making sure you suffer. And he's like, wow, okay. And then she goes, let me talk to him. Please, let me talk to him. He's like, oh, well, he can't come on the phone right now. She's like, why? He's like, what are you doing to him? He's like, I'm not doing anything. I think he's a terrific kid. She's like, well, why do you have him? Which is great. Which is a good point. He's like, what's going on then? And she's like, I just want proof he's all right. Please let me have proof he's all right. And he's like, okay, well, just ask me something only he would know. And then she goes, okay, ask him what song would I sing to him when he was a little boy? And then Tom Hanks is like, is there anything else you'd like to ask him? And she's like, you ask him that. He goes, I got it. Memories in the corner of my mind, Mr. Watercolor, memories of the way we were. And then the mom starts bawling, crying, right? And he's like, scattered pictures. And he's like, yo, it's funny to me because the mom is like, legit, like, oh my God, my baby's okay. And he's like, hating this song. And then he looks over and John Lovitz is looking at him like, what the fuck is happening? And then he's like, I gotta go. And he hangs up, right? And so he's back at his house at the St. James Hotel. Yeah. And he's watching a movie, and it's like a shooting movie with like all this screaming going on. And then he cuts off the TV, and then there's shooting and screaming still going on. Yeah. But he's not phased at all. He just like keeps eating ice cream. Like now he's like used to it.
Right.
He's just a New York person now. And he's back at work the next day, and he gets his first paycheck. And he opens it up. $187?
He said it out loud.
He screams it, right? Yeah. And then John Lovitz goes, yeah, they really screw you, don't they? Bro, he's great, bro. I mean, just because it's the timing and it doesn't overact it, real subtle, you know?
Right.
And it shows him cashing out at the bank, and then they're eating pizza and they're watching Billy Idol, mo 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 mo, and they're fucking they look
him and John
pizza and ice cream, huh?
Or him and John Lovitz?
Him and Billy.
Okay.
They're just having a great time, right? Just doing kid shit. They clearly went out and got toys. They just got a bunch of stuff, right?
Right.
So the next day, Josh goes into a huge, dope-ass toy store. Gigantic, beautiful. It's like what you would imagine a gigantic, beautiful toy store in New York to look like.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Like FAO Schwartz type shit?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Just huge, right?
Right.
And he's running around like a kid, and he's just having so much fun. He's just playing with everything. And he's playing like with laser tags, and he's like with other kids, and he pretends he's getting shot on the ground, and he's like, he's freaking out. And then right then, he goes, you hear, don't you work for me? And he looks up, and it's Mr. McMillan. It's the owner. And he's like, oh, and he gets up, he's all nervous. He's like, yeah. And he's like, what are you doing? You here with your kids? And he's like, no. He's like, huh, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I was just looking around. And he like, takes all the stuff off. And he goes, me too. I come here every Saturday. And Tom Hanks is like, yeah. And he's like, and the old guy goes, yeah, you can't see this on a marketing report. He looks around, and then Tom Hanks looks around too, and he goes, yeah, what's a marketing report? And then the guy goes, exactly. Follow me.
Dude, movies are awesome.
Movies are, because only this happens in a movie, bro.
Yeah.
In real life, he goes, what's a marketing report? And the guy goes, do you really not know?
Yeah.
You're fired. And that's life. Life's hard.
Yeah.
So he starts asking him about all these games. They're walking down the he's asking about games, and Josh knows everything. He's a kid.
Right.
So not only does he know everything, he knows what's wrong. Like he like would go, oh, that game's cool. I used to play it, but the sticks would always break or this, that. And McMillan's like, oh, there's just shit where you're just
Right.
like, oh, shit. I mean, when
this
you
guy's
own all of
valuable.
this,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh, I never would have thought of it that way.
Right.
You know?
Right. Because I don't talk to children.
I don't talk to kids. I don't hang out with fucking 12-year-olds.
Which I guess is the moral of this podcast.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So he's really impressed.
Hang out with more 12.
Hang out more. You did a good job.
Yeah.
So as they do, they're talking, they stumble upon the big piano. All right, he walks up and and then the classic scene starts. And he's like, whoa, neat. And he starts freaking out and kind of playing with it, right? And McMillan's like wants to go on, right? He's like, oh, this is great, but like, follow me. He's like, what do you think of this right here? And he's just ignoring him. He's like, you want to follow me, son? And he starts playing the piano. Like, you know, that dun 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 dun.
Chopsticks, right?
Yeah, right? And he's like, and no, they're playing the one song at first,
Bohemian Rhapsody?
no. What if it was? I think it's playing. Fuck. How's it go? It's a classic. It's like everybody plays it when they get on their fucking piano. It's like the classic shit to play.
Okay.
But it's also what people play right before chopsticks.
Okay.
So they're playing that right, and like there's a crowd starting to form, and people are like, "Oh shit!" It's an amazing scene because they're killing it. Also, I wonder how long it took them to rehearse this because it's an old ass man. You know what I'm saying? Doing all these jumps, and it's him.
Right.
No stunt double. You know. And they pause and they look at each other and they go chopsticks and they dun 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 dun, and the crowd's like, and then they do a big jump and the crowd's cheering and then he looks, McMillan's laughing, right? And he goes, what department are you in? And then Tom Hanks is like, computers. And he goes, computers? And he grabs them and they walk off, right? Cut to Tom is now in the big boy offices, like in the big suites, and he's like playing with toys. And the number 2 guy is like, vice president? Vice president? Of McMillan Toys. Now I know this is a fantasy corporation, but you can imagine what this is probably Fisher Price.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Right. We're talking about a Fisher Price level thing.
And he went from computers
To vice president.
in a day.
No. He went from 13-year-old
13-year-old.
to computers to vice president.
Computers data entry. Basically, I mean, you can only get that job, bare minimum job. To vice president of Fisher Price. So
Crazy.
I get why the number 2 is a little upset when you
Yes.
want that job.
Yes. But you probably want it too much. You're probably a little too thirsty for it.
Probably also an
That's why
asshole,
you don't
I
get it.
guess. And then he goes, where is he at? And it's like the Susan lady, the lady, she goes, they gave him Bob's old office. He goes, Bob's office? His office is bigger than my office, right? And then Billy comes to visit him the next day, and he's like, oh my God, his office is so cool. And he's just playing with all these toys, and it's huge. And he's like, so what do you do? He's like, oh, I play with stuff, and then I tell him what I think. And he goes, they pay you for that? And they look at each other, and they go, suckers! I would feel that way.
Yeah.
If that was your job. Like,
Right.
bro, wait a minute. I'm going to play with this toy. I'm going to tell you what I think, and you're going to give me
Gonna be
millions.
money. Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah, right. You have a corner office
Millions.
in Manhattan.
Vice president of McMillan
McMillan
Toy.
Toys.
You're a millionaire,
That's
dude.
so crazy.
So the next morning, the Susan lady, that's her name, and the Paul guy, that's the number 2 guy, right? They're eating breakfast. They clearly fuck, right? Because they're like got robes on, and they're discussing who this Josh guy could be. Who the fuck is he? And then he's like, they start naming like Fisher Price and all these other toy companies that are real. And then she's like, I called all of them. They've never heard of this guy. We don't know who he is. And he's like, what? This guy just can't come out of nowhere. And they're arguing about it. And then the guy slams the milk like a milk carton down, and on the back of the milk carton, a picture of Josh as a kid.
God, there's this really dark undertone to this movie.
Yeah, it's real
like,
dark.
really dark. Like, has anyone done fuck 13 going on 30? Has anyone done the perspective of Big from the parents' perspective?
Yo, wait a minute. So start the movie just as light as it starts. I mean, exactly the same. It's super light, blah, blah, blah. But instead of like, you know how we follow it, like, so, you know, the police are at the house and then, because the camera follows the homeboy with the clothes to Tom Hanks. The camera follows them and then just keeps going into the house. And then it turns into the most, like a room,
Like,
level serious
really
movie.
just like
Dark. The parents are
just
crying.
marriage
The dad
is
starts
crumbling.
drinking. The marriage crumbles. He beats, like he hits her. He's never hit her before.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my
the
God.
baby gets neglected.
She's like having lesbian sex with a woman at a bar. I mean, it's just like, what is
Whoa,
happening?
yeah.
And then he comes back at the end of the movie.
Yeah. Hey.
And they have to deal with the man. That's how it is.
I've never been a fan of this new like run of remakes. I haven't been a fan of it at all. But if someone does Big from the parents' perspective,
Talking about a real dark movie, man.
oh, talk about how. But also because, especially if people have watched Big, what a hilarious fucking movie.
Oh God, it's great.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest movies. If you like just showed snapshots of what he's doing at that time.
Yeah. Like you remember
like
the
their
scene?
marriage is falling apart and he's just jumping on a piano.
Or
You know what I
he's
mean?
on the piano, or it's him and his little friend watching Billy Idol, and they're having a great time.
Yeah.
While the mom is having lesbian sex, and the dad's just drinking.
And the kid, no one has food for the kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the little sister that he's completely forgotten
Yeah,
about. His
neglected.
little
Completely
sister.
neglected, yeah.
So they're at a meeting the next day.
Yeah, of course.
Big meeting in the VIP offices. Everybody's there. And the Paul guy is pitching a new toy. And it's a toy like he made, blah, blah, blah. He wants to, launch. And it's a building that transforms into a robot, like a skyscraper. And he's breaking it down, but just numbers and numbers. And then he goes, any questions? And Josh raises his hand. He's like, I don't get it. And the guy gets really mad. He's like, what don't you get? And he's like, it turns from a building to a robot. He's like, I don't see what's fun about that. And he goes, well, if you read your breakdown, you see the quarterlies, and then he starts saying all these numbers of kids with buildings and how kids like this, so of course these would go together. And then he raises his hand again. He's like, I still don't get it. He's like, what don't you get? And he's like, it's just, how is a building fun? I wouldn't see why a building would be fun to play with. Why is that fun to play with? He's like, why can't it be a robot that like turns into like a bug or something? And then everybody in the meeting is like, oh, a robot that turns into a bug, that's genius, right? And then they also agree, the bug can have arms, and and they're all, and then the guy's like, wait a minute, the guy, hold on, guys, and everybody starts freaking out, and Macmillan's like, Josh, God, you got something there, Josh. And then the Paul guy's like, this doesn't happen. This doesn't just happen. He said bugs, and everybody's listening to him, and then the Susan lady's kind of like, huh, And then it cuts to them outside, and the Paul guy's talking to Susan, and he's like, oh, that guy is vicious. And she's like, oh, stop it. He's like, he's a killer. He's trying to kill me. That's what he's like. I know this guy's game. And she's like, oh, I don't think so. He's like, oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. Wow, this fucking animal coming from my throat. And it's just this 13-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And the Susan lady's trying not to laugh while he's just going off. Cut to him and Billy, and they're looking for a place, right? And they find the condo that me and Hassan got to pretty much stay at.
Oh, it looks like that?
That's why we're doing this movie today.
That's dope.
Because you've stayed at this place.
That's dope. It's got a little air mattress in the corner.
Got a little air mattress in the corner for you.
For brown people. It's got the brown people air mattress?
There's but only difference between this one, Skyrise in New York.
Okay.
So probably a little more expensive.
Right.
Billy's like, we'll take it, right? They're looking around, and he's writing a letter to his parents. And as he's writing this letter, you can hear it's like voiceover. He's like, dear mom and dad. And he's buying all this cool stuff for his place. Arcade games, basketball hoop, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, he's rich as shit.
Oh, yeah, dude. And he's telling his parents how he's going to be home in a month. He takes Billy to a Yankees game. They have great fucking seats. They get a foul ball, and he gets bunk beds. And his place is just, it's just, you've seen the place. We went to the Denver Comedy Works, and it's the exact same condo from this movie. And that's why that club, already the best club, just takes it to another level. Oh, yeah. So at a fancy dinner party, is the next thing for the company, right? Big company party. Everybody's in tuxedos. Lovett's hitting on this woman. Susan's trying to talk to the McMillan guy, and he's like, Susan, just have a drink. It's a party. And then she's like, because she's trying to talk business, and he's not having it. And then Josh comes in. And he's dressed in a white tuxedo like a goddamn admiral. Like it's got clearly it's for like a sea captain.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everyone just busts out laughing. Right. And then he looks around and then he checks his fly that's why.
Yeah.
Not because he's dressed like a sea captain. And he's looking around, and then McMillan loves it. He laughs, and then he goes up, and he's like, where'd you get this suit, kid? And, of course, all the other guys watch him get another raise, and they all start hating on him.
Right.
Which I get.
Yeah.
That is how that works, though.
Yeah.
When a motherfucker come out of nowhere and starts getting everything, because that's how life works a lot.
Yeah. Oh, that's how it works all the time.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to it's hard for people to watch that shit and not get mad.
No, I get mad all the time when people are more successful than me. That's the only thing I feel is rage.
Oh Lord.
Can you imagine?
Deep and dark, baby.
Yeah.
This episode's getting deep and dark. So
I hated that.
he's like licking the hors d'oeuvres and putting them back, just being a piece of shit. Tom Hanks, because he's a kid,
Right.
And he's double dipping, and he's eating like this. You know those little corns? They're like this big. They look like corn on the cobs, but they're like this big.
Okay.
He's eating, like trying to eat it like real corn.
Yeah.
And the Susan lady's just eyeing him down the whole time, like, what is going on with this guy? And then
Why don't you just check his employment file and be like, oh, this is all bullshit?
clearly, no one's checked his employment file yet, which is hilarious.
Right.
Yo, what about the Social Security? How did he get that place?
Oh, you're right. Maybe the 80s were just a different time.
Yeah, all that money, people are like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? So she comes up and she starts hitting on him, right? And he's like trying to eat some like beluga, like caviar shit, and he throws it up. And she's like, you want to get out of here? He's like, yeah, let's get a milkshake. And she's like, okay. And then the Paul guy, he sees them leave together. So she takes him to the company limo she has, and he freaks out. He's like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And he's in the back, and he's playing with all the buttons, and she's trying to like talk to him and have a real conversation.
Okay.
About work.
Is she trying to get to know him, or
She's going off about herself and like
Okay.
work and how hard it is
Okay.
and how stressed she is. Blah, blah, but he's just playing with all the stuff.
Right.
And then she goes, I'm being really vulnerable right now. He's like, ejector seats. And he hops out the sunroof. And he's like, whoa, like that. And he's like, come up here. And she gets up and she's like, what's wrong with this guy, right? And he goes, there's my place. She goes, really? And she's like, do you want to, like, she's like, I'd like to see where you live. He's like, oh, you want to come up? And he takes her up. And then they're at the door, right? And then she's like, she asked him, she's like, do you live alone? And he's like, well, not always, just recently. And she's like, oh, it's always painful when that happens. But you know what helps? Xanax, right? And he's like,
It's great that Xanax has been a thing for this long.
Niggas been popping pills, baby.
I mean, pills, but Xanax specifically?
Oh, yeah.
Good job, Xanax.
Way to stay alive.
Yeah, and get this new generation. Little Xan, all those people.
They're all dead.
Yeah, but like, that's Generation Z shit. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, congrats, Xanax.
Xanax, killing artists since the 80s.
Yeah, Xanax. Just poisoning the youth's minds.
So he goes, he gets to the door. She's like, I don't think we should do this. And he's like, what? And she's like, I mean, I want to spend the night, but he goes, oh, you want to sleep over? And she's like, yeah, maybe. And he goes, oh, okay, but I get to be on top. And then he runs in the house. And then she's like, what? She smiles. And then like they go in, and it's just the palace of a child. It'd be like if you let a girl into the different place, and she'd be like, you live there by yourself.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, this is weird.
This is dude, you gonna murder me?
Yeah,
Because this is fucking
Yeah.
creepy.
And she's totally creeped out by it.
No, she's more like, what the fuck, right? She's like,
Yeah.
you live here? And it's nice, right?
Right.
And he's like, you want a soda? And she's like, sure. And then he like hits a Pepsi out of the Pepsi machine, and then which is great. It's a Pepsi machine right in his thing. And then she's like, is that a trampoline? And he's like, yeah, you want to try? And she's like, no. She's like, I'd rather have some wine. And then he's like, no. And then he like makes her get on the trampoline. And he's like, jump. And then she's like, I don't want to jump. He's like, jump. And she does once. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go have a drink. He's like, no, you gotta jump. And then he gets her to do it. And then she starts smiling slowly. And then he gets her to start like having a great time, right? And they're just like yelling and having a blast. Cut to, he's coming out the bathroom, he's got his PJs on. And he looks at her, and she's in the bottom bunk, and she's got like on a jersey. And she's like all laid up, all sexy, looking at him. And he starts running full speed at her, and she's like, and he jumps on the top bunk. And she's just like, right? And then he gives her like a glow in the dark ring, and he's like, here, it's a gift for you so you don't get lost. And she's like, thanks. And he's like, good night. And she's like, good night. And then you can tell she's sitting there, and she's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck just happened?
What's happening? Well, but he's like, it's not a play. He's just being really genuine.
He's being extremely genuine, so
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, which probably also is like.
is he retarded?
Yeah, what the fuck? But also like, oh, I kind of like him.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, because
That's why she likes him.
Yeah, she likes him. He's being if you're being truly genuine like that, people like that.
So the next morning, she's back with the Paul guy, and they're eating breakfast, and he questions her what she did last night, blah blah blah, and then she's like, "Oh, don't be ridiculous. You know I didn't do anything." And then they bicker back and forth, right? But she kind of ignores him. So,
But I totally was willing to. Totally left out that part, huh?
oh yeah.
You are lying, kind of.
So the next day, the Paul guy he invites Baskin out like
Okay.
for lunch. And then he's like, hey, you want to go play basketball? Like he's there. Clearly, they got sports gear on him. Like Josh is trying to convince him to do, let's play basketball, let's play video hockey, let's do something else. And he's like, no. He's like, I just don't know how to play this game. And
who's
they're
he saying
playing racquetball to Paul.
Paul.
The asshole guy.
Okay.
He invites him out.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. I forgot
So
his name was Paul.
the guys, they start playing racquetball, and the guy starts beating him. Easy.
Okay.
Just beating his ass. He's talking shit. But they play for a while. Josh starts getting the hang of it.
Right.
Right? The game gets really close. Josh, as it gets real close, calls him out for cheating. Okay? And then the guy's like, I didn't cheat, blah, blah, blah. He's like, give me the ball. He's like, no, but you cheated. He's like, give me the ball. And they start arguing. He's like, yeah, but you cheated. He's like, give me that ball, you little shit. And the guy gets really mad and starts trying to fight him, right? And he's dodging him and he's laughing and he slings him down and they're rolling on the ground. He's like, you cheater. He's like, you son of a bitch. And people are laughing. And then it fades out and then it cuts to and he's got like a bloody nose. And the Susan's patching him up. He's like, man, he didn't have to punch me. He's like, oh, he's just scared of you. He's like, if he's so scared of me, why did he punch me? She's like, honey, he punched you because he is scared of you. He's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I like that because to a kid, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about, lady?
Yeah, what?
And so, and then he's like, oh, it's just, some people are going to be threatened by you because you came to this company, blah, blah, blah. And he tells her, he's like, well, you're not that way. And she's like, what do you mean? He's like, you don't know me. He's like, yeah, I do. He's like, you're the nicest person I've ever met. And she smiles, and then she kisses him on the cheek, and then he smiles super hard, and he just stares at her. And then she's like, but he's staring at her like a kid who's never been kissed on the cheek before. So she's just like, okay. He's like that, right?
That's funny.
So she drops, the next day she drops off all her shit at the Paul guy's place. She's like, we're done, blah, blah, blah. It's over between me and you. And then he goes off on her like, oh, you just fuck everybody in the office. And he lists all the guys that she's fucked.
Jesus.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then she goes, oh.
Let's have a movie from her perspective now.
You say what?
So let's have a movie from her perspective.
Oh, the
now.
pedophile?
Yeah.
You mean the pedophile?
The pedophile?
But she is.
But
a
she
lot of
doesn't
pedophiles. Hey,
know.
all pedophiles don't know they're pedophiles.
Oh, that's 100% not true.
They all think they're doing the right thing.
No,
For God.
Even the ones that think they're doing it for God, like, oh, I'm still a pedophile.
No,
but for God.
they don't think they're pedophiles.
Yeah, she don't know. She doesn't know.
This
she's a
woman
pedophile.
knows more that she's a
Look,
pedophile than anyone
I know
else.
you went to a touchy high school and you're just trying to
Touchy, feely,
yeah,
butt,
you're trying
high.
to rationalize
You
whatever that
knew
is.
the name of my high? Touchy, feely, butt, high?
Yeah, Reverend Doctor, Reverend touchy feely. But
He said reverend.
yeah,
They're
Reverend.
Catholic priests.
No, whatever. Either way,
They
what I'm
butt fuck kids.
What I'm saying is, she is not a pedophile.
He is a pedophile.
Not a pedophile.
She doesn't know she's a pedophile, but she's a pedophile.
I wish there was judges we could go to on this.
They have no
Oh,
answer.
you know what? Beaners. Leave a comment on this is now a clip. Is she a pedophile or is she not a pedophile?
Is she a pedophile or is she not? To the judges, that's you guys.
That's you guys. All right. All right, we'll find out.
So they cut to and he's they're arguing, right? He says all the people that she fucked, and then the guy goes, "What's so special about Josh Baskin?" And then she goes, "He's a grown up," and then she slams the door.
Hilarious.
Big. So at a pizza restaurant, he's at a pizza restaurant with Billy, right? And they're celebrating Josh's birthday. It's been a year.
Oh
He's
my
now 31.
God.
All right. Matt, these poor parents, dude. That movie is dark.
Dude, that movie is awesome.
So they're leaving the pizza place, and then Billy's like, "Hey, let's go get beers, or like, let's go get dirty magazines or something." He's like, "Oh, I can't, Billy. I gotta go somewhere." He's like, "What?" He's like, "I gotta meet someone." And Billy's like, "Oh, come on." He's like, "I'll call you though, I promise." And he's like, "Thanks again." And you tell Billy's like, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
And then he goes to Susan's place, all right, and they go to a fair. And they're riding all the roller coasters and they're playing all the games and he's flirting with her and they're having a great time and they walk off and the camera pans back. He walks right by his Zoltar machine. It's a good movie, bro. That's really good writing. That's legit good writing. Subtle.
Yeah.
Very subtle. You don't have to force everything, Hollywood. Just let it play, you know? So they go to a place and they're slow dancing, him and the girl. And then she's like, "What were you like when you were younger?" And he's like, "Not much different." She's like, "Oh, I believe that about you." She's like, "I feel like I can just tell you anything." And then she kisses his neck, and then he stops and he goes, "There's something I got to tell you." And then she goes, "What?" And he gets all nervous and he kisses her. Cut to, they're in the bedroom, and she takes her top off, right? She's in a bra, great body. Amazing body.
Who is this? Does anyone recognize?
Woman that's from the 80s. That's what she looks like.
Nice.
She looks like her name is Woman from the 80s.
Does she have curly hair?
Yep.
Yep. All right.
Goddamn right she does. Is it red? Is it red? Yep.
Alrighty.
Is it red curly hair like the 80s only allowed? Yeah. Yes, sir, it is. So, she grabs his hand and then she cuts the lights out and then he cuts them right back on. And she's like, "You want the lights on?" She's like, "Ooh, you nasty boy, right?"
Kinky man.
And then he touches her boob and then they kiss more. And then it fades out, and then the next morning he's walking around in the work like a guy in the Viagra commercial, like duh, 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 and he's all happy and shit. Yeah, they fuck. Told you, she's a pedophile.
But also, good job.
Hey, Tom Hanks got that poo na na na.
Jesus.
That poo na 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 na. You know.
Oh, weird. Hopefully she never finds the truth out, because that'll fucking damage her psyche, huh?
Let's see what happens. So he asked for black coffee in the next morning, and the lady's like, "What?"
This from anyone else's perspective, this is
not a lighthearted comedy.
Horror movie.
This is a thriller horror movie.
A deep psychological horror.
Actually, it's a comedy from Billy's perspective.
Yeah, from Billy's perspective. And the boss's perspective.
McMillan's having a great time.
Yeah, oh my God, he's 13 and he's fucking my other employee? Jesus,
I love this guy.
What a guy.
So he's now hanging with her, like going to like on friends dates and like hanging with like talking like about like adult shit at these parties. And then he goes to one and a guy's kid comes in asking for like help on the algebra homework. And he goes, "I used to study that." And then they go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I can help you with that." And then he goes and he helps the kid and he's like helping him using like basketball terms to help explain it to him.
Yeah.
And the kid's like love it, gets it. And like the women are watching and they're like, "He's a wonderful man," you know?
Jesus Christ. Are all women pedophiles?
Dude, I've been saying that shit. Nigga, every woman I've ever met in my entire life is a pedophile. And that's the realest shit I ever spoke. So Billy is at home and he's checking his mail,
right.
And the package comes in about where the Zoltar thing is gonna be.
Oh
and
shit!
He freaks out. He's like, "Fuck yeah, it came in!" And he cut to Josh is talking to McMillan, and McMillan's giving him more responsibility.
Right.
Like he wants him to start his own toy line. Mm-hmm. So this dude's a millionaire, bro.
Right. This dude is killing it.
So. So we'll talk about it. I have a question that I just thought about in my head, but we'll get there later.
Okay.
Billy keeps calling Josh, but he getting no answer, right? Josh is trying to come up with new ideas for toys, blah, blah, blah. And then he's talking to the girl, and he's just trying to come up with new ideas. The next day, Billy comes to his job, and he tells him, like, Billy busts in the door, right? And he's like, what's up? And then Josh is on the phone. He's like, 1 second. He's like, "Hey, man, I found the Zoltar." And she's like, "What? I'm on the phone." And he's like, "Dude, I found it." He's like, "Hey, come back at lunch. I'm busy." And Billy gets real mad and he hangs up and he goes, "Hey, you can't just hang up the phone." He's like, "Why would you do that? This is my job. Are you kidding me?" And then he goes, "Hey, who the fuck do you think you are?" Says fuck.
Oh, nice.
Loved it, Billy.
Nice.
Great line. And he goes, "What do you mean?" He's like, "This is important." He goes, "Important?" He goes, "I'm your best friend. What's more important than that? And I'm 3 months older than you too, asshole." And he slams the door, right? And then Tom thinks like, so that night he's at home and Susan's asleep in the bed.
And they've been
They're
fucking.
fucking now. And he's a millionaire. And he's playing the video game that he used to from the beginning of the movie.
Right.
And he's just like, and then he goes and he visits his old house and he's just looking at it and watching it outside. And he sees kids outside playing and he walks around his old neighborhood and the school and he's just missing it all, right? So he's talking to Susan that night and he goes, "Susan, I have something to tell you." She's like, "What?" He goes, "I didn't think you'd believe me or like me anymore if I told you this." Her eyes get big. He's like, "I'm not what you think I am. Before I met you, I was in Little League." She goes, "What?" He goes, "And I played with my friends, and I hung out all the time. And now I want to go home. I miss my family, Susan." And she goes, "You're married?" He goes, "No." And he goes, "I knew it was too good to be true." She starts going off. He goes, No, I'm not married." He goes, I'm a child." And she goes, "What?" He goes, "I'm a child, Susan. I'm just not ready for all this." And then she gets more mad. "Oh, so you're not ready for commitment?" And he's like, "What?" Dude, I love this scene because it's such a genuine miscommunication.
Right.
You know? And then he's like, I'm just not ready for this. She's like, oh, so you're not ready for commitment. He goes, I'm 13 years old. And she goes, who isn't? Who isn't 13 years old? He's like, I don't feel like I'm 13 years old. And he goes, I really am 13. And she goes, why are you doing this to me, Josh? Why are you saying all this? And then he tells her everything that happened. And then she just doesn't believe him. She's like, what are you talking about? That's crazy,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. And she goes, well, he goes, I promise you I'm a kid. She goes, fine, you're a kid. And she goes to bed. So cut to Billy. He's in his room and he's all sad. And he hears static from the walkie-talkie.
Right.
He goes, Josh! And he goes and he looks out the window and it's Miss Baskin, his mom. And she's just in the room crying because, it's been a year. And then they raise the windows and then they're talking and she goes, he just had a birthday. He goes, yeah, I know. She's like, I miss him. He goes, he'll be back real soon. He's like, it's going to be okay, I promise. She goes, I hope so. Because, her son's been gone a year.
Yeah.
Hope is lost.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
world means nothing.
Yeah, what?
What is life? What is it? What is it worth? What is anything?
Yeah.
So
Definitely need her perspective. Definitely know what's going on in that household.
Oh, we haven't even seen the dad.
Yeah.
Dad left,
Dad's
bro.
drinking.
Dad's drinking and doing heroin and like
just fucking some.
fucking and getting in bar fights.
Random
Dad's,
girl at the bar.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Dad's in a dark place.
Yeah.
So the next day, Susan sees Billy getting off an elevator as she's getting on. And she's like, huh? Because she sees a kid. He's like, what the fuck? And Billy runs into Josh's office and he goes, I know where the Zoltar is. And he slams down the address, right? And then right then, Josh gets a call. And they go, Mr. Baskin, they're waiting for you because it's the day of the big pitch for McMillan. And he's looking at Billy. He looks at the phone, looks at Billy, looks at the phone. He's all sad. And then he goes, thanks. Tell him I'll be right in. And then Billy's like, see you around. And then Billy leaves, right? And Tom Hanks is all sad. So cut to, he's in the meeting and he's giving this pitch for this new comic book idea he has, be like an interactive comic book and all this. And then the Paul guy's being a dick. He raises his hand. He goes, I don't get it, right? And then he kind of looks around and everybody else kind of looks at him like, what are you? It's kind of simple.
Yeah.
It's a comic book.
Right.
And McMillan loves it, right? And then Josh, he can tell he's not there and he goes, I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back. And he leaves the meeting. And then she keeps talking for him. She's like, oh, and also you can do this and this. And then as she talks, she kind of she's just talking, but she's thinking. And then she realizes like what's going on. And she goes, excuse me, McMillan, I got to go. And then she runs out too. And then McMillan's like, what the fuck? They're all fired because,
Right.
this is $1 billion company.
Right.
I don't have time for this.
Right.
I don't have time for any of this.
Right.
I am McMillan.
But that's not how he works. He's probably like, what's going on? Oh no, my employees are sad? I care about them because it's a movie.
I'm a billionaire company, Fortune 500 company guy, and I'm nice somehow.
That cares about his employees.
And the working man.
Yeah. Power to the people.
And every Saturday I go to the toy store and I look around.
Yeah, just to know what's going on. Because I'm a billionaire.
'Cause
and I know what's happening on the ground level.
Yeah, like how billionaires do.
Yeah.
You know how Jeff Bezos is always walking around IKEA going, what can I do better? So
Yeah.
she storms out. Josh, he gets in a cab and he says the name of like Sea Point Village, wherever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Billy, he's outside getting a hot dog and he perks up and he hears it, he turns and he sees Josh get in the cab and leave and he goes, yeah, I'll see you back home, buddy. Yeah, right? And then right then the girl comes out and she goes, do you know Josh Baskin? And he goes, yeah. He goes, do you know him? And she's like, yeah, I do. And she goes, well, who are you? And she goes, I'm his girlfriend. And he goes, ooh, right? and then he laughs and she's like, you have to tell me where he is. And then he goes, she's like, please tell me, please. And then cut to homeboy's, Tom Hanks is running around the empty fairgrounds, right?
Right.
And he's running around looking for it. And then he sees the Zoltar machine, the one he walked by earlier, right?
Right.
And then he puts a quarter in it and he unplugs it because it's plugged up. Right then, Susan pulls up in her car. Josh is hitting it to make it come on right again. And it finally does. Make your wish. I wish I was a kid again. And then he puts the quarter in the mouth And then right then you hear, Josh! And she runs up and she hits him. You don't walk out on someone. You just don't walk out on someone like that. You can't do that. And he goes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then right then the card comes out and then she reads it. Your wish was granted. And she's like, oh, I guess you got your wish. And he's like, I tried to tell you. She's like, I didn't listen. And she starts freaking out. I didn't listen. I'm a pedophile. And then he goes, look, there's a million reasons to go home, but there's only one reason to stay. And she looks up and he's like, and that's you. And she turns away. He's like, come here. And he hugs her. And she's crying. She's like, so how old are you, 15, 16? He's like, I'm 13. And she's like, well, that explains it. And then he backs up. He goes, maybe you'll come with me. Come with me. And she goes, no, I can't. He goes, why not? She goes, because I've been there before. And it's hard enough the first time. And then he goes, oh. And then she goes, come on, I'll drive you home. He's like, I'm really sorry. She's like, I know, I'll be okay. He's like, I know. He's like, you're great. You're going to be fine.
She's handling this really well.
She's going to be fine.
She's not freaking the fuck out.
She freaked out for a second that she was a pedophile. Then she took it together.
Yeah, right? She shouldn't have it together now. This should be years of therapy.
Maybe she just, you know what? Sometimes in the moment, you just kind of, it kind of just happens and you deal with it later.
Yeah.
Seems like that, if I had to be honest.
It's going to be a lot of trust issues there.
Oh, dude, she's never getting married. And she's also never going to trust a kid again.
A kid? She's not going to trust an adult.
She's never trusting anyone, dude.
Yeah,
she saw magic also.
Are you 26? You're 26. Can I see your social security and your license and all that?
You're 26. And the guy's like, yeah. Write a check. Show me you can write a check. So she's like, she's like, well, in 10 years, who knows? Hold on to my number, won't you? And then he laughs. She takes him home, and he's like, I'm going to miss you. And she's like, oh, you're not even going to remember me. He goes, yes, I will. And he goes to kiss her, and she stops him, and she kisses him on the forehead, right? Yeah. Because she's not a pedophile anymore.
You can get cured.
And they can be cured, guys. Just show them the movie Big.
Yeah. Or I would just move them to a different Christian high school.
So he gets out, and she watches him walk away, and he turns, and he waves. And she looks down, and then she looks back up, and she's like, and he's a little boy in a gigantic suit.
Right.
A little boy from the beginning of the movie, right? And he smiles again, and he runs in the house, and he's like, Ma! And you just see the house, and it kind of gets close. It's like the camera's just fading in on the house. And she's like, Josh, oh my God, you're home, oh my God. And he's like, I miss you all so much. And the camera fades out on the house. And then it cuts to it's him and Billy, and they're walking down the street, and they're talking about playing baseball after supper that night, and blah, blah, blah. And then the piano kind of kicks in, chopsticks, dun, 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 dun. Big.
Oh, wow. That's quick.
Hour 44.
Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
That was fun. And she's just a pedophile.
Fun movie. It's the pedophile element. Mm-hmm. It's lighthearted. There's a pedophile. It's comedy. Tom Hanks' acting is amazing. There's a pedophile. Dude, I mean, it's a classic. It's honestly one of the it's one of the best movies of all time. One of the biggest, coolest, just fun classics that always make you feel good. There's a pedophile in it.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's fucking great. Yeah. It literally is great. There's a pedophile in it.
Yep. And that's big.
There's a pedophile in it.